There are people in this world that absolutely refuse to move on with times, and they think that they are protecting themselves because they see advancement as dangerous. For example, because of the evolution of AI. But this way of being stops the flow. So you're not moving with the flow, but you're stopping yourself because of fear that this progress will lead to something negative. So fear is driving these kinds of decisions. So it's very important to understand that this life is dual, that in everything there is both positive and negative, and it depends what you're focusing on. So when it comes to AI, for example, there could be negative aspects of it, of course, but there could be positive aspects as well. So what are you focusing on? And I'm not saying go ahead with all the trends, but don't stop moving. If the humanity is moving in some way, if you just go totally against it, you are not there to be the awareness flowing together with the humanity. So you will be seen as someone who is very different, and people will start pushing against you, and then people get into these philosophies, oh, those who are in the right, they're always shunned, and we need to stand strong and so forth. But again, ego is about separation. Source is about union. So you can flow with life and see the best in all the developments so that they help you and you keep moving on with the humanity, and therefore you're able to connect with the humanity and share your knowledge, and you can receive their knowledge as well. And I was one of those people that was against many things, many new developments that humanity is going through. But now, as I compare myself to how I was and how I am today, being very open and flowing with life, I noticed that I'm able to help many more people because I'm not standing apart from humanity, but I'm with humanity. And I find that the things that I used to be against, and that involves newer technologies, for example, they're actually very useful. Of course, you can focus on its negative side and you can see that, for example, the newest mobile phones, they're there to totally track us, but they also make life very easy, much more easy. So what are you focusing on? Because this world is dual, and I know many people will disagree with me about this, because people that watch this channel, they usually consider themselves very different. But again, it's very important not to fall into this separation mindset, because separation is of the ego. So what I'm telling is based on my experience. If you just open yourself up to humanity and don't see new developments, new trends as a threat, but you really open your eyes to be able to see them in a positive way, you will actually benefit from them, and you will not divorce yourself from the flow. Therefore, you will be able to remain in touch with all the humanity and connected with them and influencing them. And of course, if you're open to the source, you're influencing them very positively. And again, I'm not saying to say yes to everything. For example, I'm not saying that because of the development of technology, now there are microchips available that you should get them. Of course not. But just don't close yourself off to what's available out there, what is widely used, what can be beneficial, just because there are some conspiracy theories about it. Because yes, some of them might be true, but again, you're focusing on something that is negative, something that separates you from the rest of the humanity, something that the ego might use to make you special, more spiritual than others, and therefore you fall into the trap of the ego. And there could be now that you might already think about some things that you deny yourself, which would make your life easier, but you don't do it because of these philosophies and being against certain things. So I encourage you to think over them and see their positive aspects and focus on that, because everything has positive and negative sides, everything in this life. And if you choose to be against most of the trends, you basically get more negative effects because you alienate yourself from other humans, so you cut yourself off. And although you might think you're spiritual, what's the point if you can't help others? Because spirituality is a lot about connection and union, and if others cannot connect with you because you're too different, well, how can you help them? We progress spiritually together and not on our own. If we cut ourselves off and are stuck in our philosophies, we can't move on. But you will find that if you flow with life, if you flow with other people, we are all progressing, and you will find that the people that you thought are not spiritual at all, they might not be into reading spiritual stuff and so forth, but they might be very spiritual. You were just not open to that. And it's amazing what kind of people you will meet if you just open up to all of what's coming into your life. And you will find that even those who are not awakened can make you learn important lessons. So what I personally found is opening up to life fully, saying yes, moving with times and not being against them, actually made me open up, progress, raise my awareness much more, instead of going against the times and staying stuck in certain convictions and philosophies. So if you find yourself having to use effort to go against something, if you find yourself struggling because you say no to something, look at that. You might be stopping your flow because of the fear that if you open up to something new, it could be disadvantageous to you. But if you just look at the advantages of that thing, maybe they will be great and they will be useful to you. So never be afraid of that. It's never bad to look at the positive sides of anything. And I was exposed to some people who were in the extremes of denying, of being against the moving of times. And now it reached a peak that I have to talk about it, because such people, they feel righteous in their convictions, but their progress is slowed down or even stopped as a result of their refusal to move on with times. Then they become stuck in an ego trap of thinking that they are righteous and spiritual, and the ego is always searching for ways to make you trip in your spiritual journey. So beware that this could happen, and examine yourself that you're not stuck because of your convictions. And the sign that this is the case is that you don't connect with people. And we can connect with anyone if we are willing to approach people through the source. So not through our convictions, through our beliefs about them, but connecting through this common humanity that we have. And an easy way to do it is to ask the source or your true self to show the truth about people, about a particular person that you would like to connect with. And especially, you need to be shown the truth about people you don't want to connect with, so that there is no pushing against, which is an ego action, but an understanding. And by understanding, I don't mean that you have to reach out to them, but if you approach them through the God-given or your higher self-given understanding about that person, you will understand the person. So there is connection, and it doesn't matter whether you physically reach out to that person or not, but you're not pushing against that person. So I encourage you to examine yourself if you don't keep yourself stuck in philosophies that keep you away from the flow and disconnected from humanity, so that you don't hinder yourself in your spiritual progress, and so that you don't deny others from receiving something from you, some kind of help or increased awareness as a result of you sharing the source with them through your connection with the source.